Get obsessed with your brand first before you ever want other people to be obsessed with it. Most podcasters don't make money. Let's just throw that out there. What are you willing to build? They want this instant gratification off something that they just started. We all want revenue. You're not even as obsessed with it yourself. So what are you expecting from us consumers? That's mind-blowing. So I'm obsessed with Lovable. Who cares what your competitors are doing it? Can you do it faster? What's up, y'all? What's up? It's your girl Bree Flemings from Gem Social. And today, I am so excited to talk about this on my solo episode. I want to talk about obsession around brands and why brands can even get people to be obsessed with them in the first place. And, well, y'all already know me. I'm big on intentionality. I'm such an intentional person that, and I'll be honest, I'm an intentional person and I want that to show more online. Because I can admit that my intentionality might not meet my content, and I'm learning that. You know, I'm investing into that. I'm paying to learn these things through workshops, through one-on-ones, through private coaching, like all these things, because I want my intentionality to be felt online. I've learned and realized that my app, my brand is my art. You know, I wasn't blessed with the idea of like painting, right? Or you know, drawing or any of that sort. Like that's not my skill set. You know, I'm not a singer, not a rapper. Like I don't have that version of art, right? And I think that most people, you know, used to look at art in that way, artistry in that way, but technology is a form of art to me. And I have to be so intentional about it because what I'm going to talk about today motivates me as a founder, as a brand builder. And it's the obsession around these products, right? A few of them to name before I name them, I want to say this. I want to say that if you have a brand, doesn't matter if it's small, doesn't matter if it's funded, has capital, has employees, like it could be just you. Get obsessed with your brand first before you ever want other people to be obsessed with it. I find that a lot of people want this, like they want this instant gratification off something that they just started or maybe even started years ago, but you're not even as obsessed with it yourself. So what are you expecting from us consumers? I can admit I've had that moments too where I didn't feel obsessed with my brand, but had this obsession with others being obsessed with it. And it's like, be for real. Like you need to be obsessed with your brand. It needs to show. These people are obsessed with their brands and the intentionality shows. And because the intentionality shows so much, it shows online because it shows up a certain way online so much that the people that work for them are just as obsessed and sell it damn good. Then the creators sell it damn good. And then the consumers are obsessed too. And then they become affiliates. I mean, it's really such an interesting hierarchy, but that's really what it is. So my first one I'm going to talk about is Lovable. Lovable, I am so obsessed with Lovable. And I'm going to tell you why. First of all, I'm a Lovable customer. I mentioned this in some of my short form content, but Lovable is a platform that allows you to literally put in a prompt to build a website, an app, landing pages, etc. I love Lovable so much because it solved a deep problem. I mean, a major problem that most of us founders struggled with starting a tech business. The most expensive part of building a tech business, an app, website, etc., is the actual development cost. Even if you're working with people overseas and such, it can still run a pretty penny because a lot of people don't have the technical aptitude or acumen or background or knowledge, anything, to understand how to properly build an app. They don't understand front end, they don't understand back end, they don't understand server side, they don't understand a lot of these things that actually build an app, build a website, databases. You know, Lovable, when it's building the components of the app, is walking you through what they're doing too, which I think is great for people who are non-technical, which also eliminates the obsession with hiring a technical co-founder. So they solved a massive issue that I've been in deep need of when I was building my first app a long time ago. I built my first app at 16. A lot of people think, oh, you know, like that Gem Social is my first app. I find that hilarious because Gem Social is my fourth app. It's my fourth app, but it is the first app that I genuinely have went all in on. All in on. I would say that I went semi in on it on a app called Vibes back in the day a while ago. But honestly, after launch party, like there was nothing else. I had no more money. I had nothing else to spend on it because it's the same problem that we all were facing back then. Development at some point gets high, especially when you're doing a rework, especially when you need to get design involved too. And Lovable solved that problem too. You don't need a designer. Now, most people want a designer. And at some point, I do think design needs to be even more intentional. But you don't need to hire a designer. There are so many other platforms, including Lovable, that can help you with design. Even if you see something and someone, like, back to peer reviewing, right? If you share a link with some friends or even with someone that you know that maybe has a good eye for design, if they're like, hey, this looks clunky or this looks this or whatever, like you can ask them for feedback, take the feedback and tell Lovable and Lovable will fix it. I mean, to sit here and prompt an app and tell it to create a login page, create an onboarding flow, create the core features, create a settings with these components in it that do these things. I mean, that's mind-blowing. That's mind-blowing. So I'm obsessed with Lovable. I would absolutely be an affiliate for Lovable. And I even like their creative direction. Now, they don't have like the cleanest and most finest Instagram and TikToks, but their creators get right to the point. They get right to case study content, which I love because they're showing us literally app creators making $100,000 in a month, $100,000 in a year, $1 million, $4 million, etc. Like they're showing us wins. That's what I love. They're showing us how you can win by using this app. As if it's not already cool enough that you can get an idea in your head and build it, then you have the momentum of, wait, I can replace my full-time income being an app creator. I can, well, hold up. We didn't even get to the service providers. If you are an app developer and you are tired of spending relentless time coding, this might be great for you too, because you also can build them a Lovable app, because there are still a good amount of people in the world that don't want to do the work. They're so busy. They don't have time to even do something like this, like sit down in a chair and talk. So I say it to say that what I find interesting is you can even be a service provider and sell apps to organizations, landing pages, websites, apps, micro apps, tools. You can even build tools for organizations. Like there's so many different things you can do. And Lovable shows that too. Lovable shows some case studies in that space too. So they're showing you how to win. They're also showing you something that's really important going into 2026, speed. Speed. Who cares what your competitors are doing it? Can you do it faster? Who cares if they have more money? Can you get it out faster to the masses, to your audience? Speed is so important. It's going to be a huge KPI for people because nowadays things don't feel like a marathon anymore. This feels like a race. This is real, like tech is starting to feel like I'm in a rap battle. Tech is starting to feel like I'm in rap beef, low key sometimes. Like, because when you see what other competitors are doing, it's not that, oh, I just need to jump and do that. But when you see that it's bringing in a lot of hype, you start thinking, do we have anything in our product that can do the same thing that we could fine tune or add? I mean, at the end of the day, we all want revenue. We all want to IPO or get acquired, but like we have to have the revenue. We have to have the audience. We have to have the metrics. People got to see that data to even want to buy us out or IPO, whatever it may be, whatever the option is. So I'm obsessed with Lovable. I love how they did it. And I think they've only been out for a little, like maybe a year. And they're already hitting 200 million annual recurring revenue. I mean, I know their investors are happy. I'm obsessed with them. Love it. Another app I love, and I think that they have a lot of fine tuning going down the line. I think that they have a lot of room for growth, but I still love it, is Opus Clips. Opus Clips is an app that allows you to sit here, make some long form content like I'm doing right now, get the clip. And for me, I make sure that the long form episode is edited first, just to make that clear. make sure it's edited first, which I'll bring up in my next thing, how you can do that. But take the long form clip, upload it, whether it's through Google Drive, or through YouTube. Like, let's say you upload it to YouTube, and Opus Clip will take the best and most viral clips and rate it and spit it out in a matter of like, back then it did take like up to like 15 minutes for me, and maybe with my Wi-Fi, but it did take me like 15 minutes. But still, now only takes a few minutes. So recently I had my editor intentionally edit some clips from some old podcasts that we did. But to be transparent, it took like 4 days. And I said, you know what? Let's just use Opus Clips. Let's really try this out. And honestly, I would say this. My editor is a lot more intentional. He's doing different cuts and all that stuff. So I'll give it to him. I would say it matched 70% of what he would have delivered. But trade-offs, this was 70% cheaper. Opus Clips is only $30 a month. My editor is charging $50 to $80 for the pack of promo videos I want. And I don't get like 15 or to 30 of them. I think I'm getting anywhere from like 8 to 10, some pre-promotional ones, some post-promotional ones, right? So I say this to say, I'm saving a good amount of money and I'm getting more. Do I need all the fancy cuts and edits, or do I really just need to make sure I'm delivering the message? Because this allows me, if you're using Opus Clips, this allows me to just be more intentional in what I'm talking about in my long form videos. I should know when I'm prepping that I need to make some hits in this episode. What I'm talking about, I need to deliver. I need to make sure that I'm an authority in my space. So I know now, getting on these episodes, like, this ain't a game. Like, I'm being serious. I'm really dropping knowledge, and even down to me talking about these brands I'm obsessed with. I'm making sure that you guys understand why I'm obsessed with it. What's the core of this product? How it's saving me money as an entrepreneur, and how it can save you money and time, right? Because I've taken the time to try these products out. So I say this to say, like, I make sure that I'm intentional in these episodes. And when I just put in Opus Clips, am I going to get as fancy of edits as I would get from my editor? No, but also that's money that I can save. That's money that I can save going into January, because right now it's December 2026. Going into January, I know that, instead of, because I want to drop 4 episodes a month. So instead, right, of paying this amount of money, like let's say $300 to $600 for clippings, Opus Clip can do this for $30 a month. And this is money that I could put back into my podcast. I can literally spend more money on the booking, which I pay a certain amount of money an hour, right? So I pay, let's just put out there like $100 an hour. Okay, I can get at least 2 to 3 episodes done in an hour. I'm almost a month done in 1 hour. I'm almost 2 months done in 2 hours. I don't even got to come back here for 2 months. And then I can take these clips, put it in Opus Clips, clip them up, choose the best ones, and schedule them out for a total of what, like $200 for 2 hours, and then $30 for the month. That's great. That's excellent. That's excellent. So I say it to say that I'm obsessed with Opus Clips. Opus Clips, thank you for putting that out there. There are other viral clip websites out here, just to be fair, that y'all can experiment with, but I'll be honest, I ran back to Opus Clips. I remember trying it early in the beginning. I wasn't quite there yet. But I wasn't quite there yet because I wasn't even quite there yet with my content journey. Sometimes you gotta meet people where they're at. And sometimes you gotta meet product where they're at too. And I felt like that's really what it was. Like, I wasn't consistent with making long form content, so I didn't feel consistent to use the app. I have that same expectation with my app. When people are pausing their memberships and stuff, I don't take it to offense, because some of them, will put in the surveys, like, they're honestly just not promoting anything right now. Like, there's a good amount of event producers that use Gem Social, for example, to book influencers to talk about their event or attend. But in the slow seasons, they pause their memberships. And you know what? That's a completely understandable. As long as we can still keep and maintain a relationship, that's cool. So that's what I would do. I would pause my membership. I wasn't really using that, but I saw the vision. And yeah, now, like, I'm all in. I'm like, nah, I'm going all in with Opus Clips. And the next thing I'll bring up is another product I'm obsessed with. Riverside and Opus Clips, we need to talk. Hey, I might pitch y'all. I love Riverside. Riverside is another platform. I actually used Riverside a long time ago for a podcast I started years ago. It was a queer podcast. And what happened was they're solving the big problem, the money part. I was spending so much money, and I didn't have the money back then, y'all. I was spending so much money recording episodes at a podcast studio and paying for the edits. So I was in Miami, so I was paying, I think, $75 an hour, like this is 4 years ago. And then I'm paying anywhere from $80 to like $120 for the edits to get promos and the full episode edited. So each and every episode, like I'm going to like, oh man, that was a lot of money for me. And I'm not making money back. I'm not, I don't even have merch out yet. Like I really wasn't okay, I'll say this. Most podcasters don't make money. Let's just throw that out there. Most podcasters don't make money, but if they have the right systems in place, they could, especially as they're growing an audience. But there's no expectation on an immediate return. So using my discretional income, which I probably had $1,000 in discretional income after paying my mortgage and my bills and stuff, $1,000 left, and more than half of that is going towards a podcast with no systems, that was hard. So I ended up finding Riverside, and I was able to have guests, people be on I'll be able to have guests on my podcast. And I will say I didn't have 4K yet. Like there was no 4K recording, but it was nice that I was still able to record and just get it out there. Nowadays, you can record on Riverside, edit on Riverside. It will it literally auto edit. It will remove the fluff, the ums and the pauses that you guys hear sometimes. Like it can remove that too if you want it to. You can add music, you can add beats, you can add effects. Like you can do everything. They make it so easy for you that it's almost like, oh, this is really easy. And you can just click a button to do it. Like it's not like you have to intentionally look for all these features. Like you generally can click a button, especially on desktop, for it to do all these things for you. And you just choose the things that you want it to do, and it'll do it, and it'll notify you when it's done. So you mean to tell me I can record my podcast, edit my podcast, and now they have something called Magic Episodes and Magic Clips. Magic Episodes will take your long form content and create multiple episodes of that one long episode. So let's say literally, like let's say this 30-minute episode, right? It will take like 4 pieces of this, and it's still long form, and it'll take like 7.5 minutes each of the course of the episode. That's so dope, because not only did I drop an episode, but now I also have more mini episodes, which are magic episodes on Riverside, of that long form episode. Then they took it a step further, y'all. They also have magic clips, which is similar to what Opus Clips does, like with the viral clipping. I personally like Opus Clips better than magic clips. But if you had to choose one tool to just get all of it done, I would recommend it, especially if you were in a predicament where I was in, where editing was expensive, timely, costly, all the things, because that's not even to mention I had to tell them the timestamps, what to find. So I'm going back and forth through the episodes. They want the captions. Like it was, oh my God, it was so much, y'all. It was so much time and money spent. So for Riverside to do all that for you, I mean, I'm going to be honest, like what reason don't you have to start your own like media empire in a way, right? So that's a great alternative. And even if you are somewhere like where I'm at, I'm currently using their system, right? So that's great. But like, let's say that you just find a nice place to shoot at, but you don't have the money for the cameras and all that, but maybe you have somewhere in your home to shoot at that gives a nice vibe. You can still use Riverside as well for 2 things. You can have it for yourself, for your solo episodes, or you can have it with you and your guests. There's so many ways to record using Riverside, edit, and have clippings and everything. Like, cause that's really what it is. You need the content to last to the next episode. So I'm obsessed with that. Riverside and Opus Clips, y'all need to hit me up. I want to be an affiliate. I want to be an affiliate. because I'm obsessed with that product. They did such a good job. Like these last three companies that I mentioned, like have done such an excellent job that it even has big creators talk about it all the time. These AI creators talk about it. And when I say AI creators, I'm talking about people who actually talk about AI. So like the influencers that talk about AI. So, people are willing to literally talk about your product when you did a good job executing something that's a huge need. That is my goal with Gem. Like that is literally my goal, is to keep finding like, what could we really do to blow creators out the way? And I do want to know this. Like if you're hearing this and you're a creator or even a brand and you're like, you know what, this is like, here's what I could use to do X, Y, and Z, and I would pay so much for it. No, I'm kidding. But like, if y'all genuinely tell me like what y'all want and it makes sense, like we would totally do it, because that is what made sense for them. They listened over and over again to customers' problems and build that community for that and execute it. And speaking of execution, we got to talk about the female-owned app, female billionaire, Canva. Canva is blowing people out the waters. I don't even know how other people can show up in that space at this point. And I'm not gonna lie, I don't even look at Adobe. Now, I do like Adobe's brand, always have. But Adobe has always been too hard for me. From the Photoshop to the Illustrator to the Lightroom editing, like all that stuff always, like I was already in the development space. I didn't need anything else difficult, right? Canva did something early on that, and before the chat GPTs, before the AIs, before all that, like Canva literally built something based off of somebody else's problem, and the somebody else's problem was the majority of users using Adobe. Most of us, 90% of us, all had the same complaints. This is too hard. We're just going to pay somebody to do it. Canva made us save money. I also used to pay for flyers. I used to pay $50 to like $150 per flyer when I was a DJ and had my own events. I wanted my flyers to look a certain way. And looking back at those flyers, I actually laugh. But, times change, content changes, expectations change. But I say this to say that for $12.99, I can make the dopest of the dopest flyer. And now with Canva AI, I can tell it what to do. And with Bulk Create, I can make this flyer repeatable, or this graphic design repeatable. I can make templates repeatable in minutes. Canva, y'all really did that. Y'all, can I get someone from Canva's team here? Like, are y'all willing to come to Houston? Do I gotta go to Australia? Like, what's up? What I gotta do? Because I saved the best for last. I love Lovable. I love Opus Clips. I love Riverside, but I have to give it a Canva, especially because Canva came before all these. Canva was the first to really show me, especially as a tech entrepreneur myself, Canva really showed me that if you solve a problem, you can actually solve a problem that someone else is trying to solve too. See, the problem was, how do I get graphic designs out? How do I get this out? Adobe was doing that with so many different things. How do I edit a photo? How do I do this? How do I do that? Canva saw how difficult users felt with paying for that and not knowing how to really use it, and made it easy. And if you really want to chat, they even took it a step further and said, oh, by the way, y'all also can make websites. You can make a website, you can make a resume, you can make a flyer, you can make a presentation, because I hate PowerPoint. You can make all these things on one app. Pay $12.99. I'm curious on these margins. I got to look up these margins. Because again, as someone who owns an app, and I have to think about margins often, because even recently, we had to spend a lot of money on our API because people using the app, people are looking for the creators. I'll tell you that, because we get charged for the credits that are being used. So I'm curious on what their margins are, because $12.99, and that's not including that you could have a team of people also creating other designs and stuff like that on your team in that price. And then I think it's after like 5 people, then it starts increasing and stuff. But like, Canva can keep my money. I've been paying for Canva even when I wasn't an entrepreneur. Well, I take that back. I was always an entrepreneur, but like really heavily focused on entrepreneurship. I've been a repeatable customer for a long time. I've never imagined me canceling Canva. I absolutely don't imagine me canceling Canva. Lovable, Riverside, Opus Clip, like those things are here to stay for me right now. I can say that. I'm obsessed. So my question to y'all is, what are you willing to build, right? That's intentional, that people would be obsessed with, that's solving a real problem. And keep in mind, look at these other tools and services that are offered, right? And think about how you can make it easier. Less manual work, less time, and allowing people to make more money. That's where we're at. That's where we're like we're literally like in the trenches, figuring that out for creators and figuring that out for brands. But I encourage y'all, especially going into this year, to focus on that. And it doesn't have to be an app. I know that I listen to apps because that's my expertise. But I could do this for creators too. Don't get me started. I could spit some game on how creators do this just outside of an app. Like this doesn't have to be an app. I can show you how content creators do this online and how they've built obsession around their audience, like, or really around their brand or storytelling. So you can do this as a creator too. You can do this as a service provider. Like, I love, and I'm so obsessed with Alicia Little. Alicia Little is honestly, like, to how I look at it, like an AI enthusiast. Like, she's an entrepreneur. She sells, how you can leverage AI in your career, in your business, your processes, etc. Like, she's honestly a game changer online. And I love even better that she is a woman of color, because it just shows, like, we don't have to be left out the table anymore. Like, if you really feel so left out, start your own shit. Build your own table. And you can do that with AI, especially in an ethical way. Because I'm supportive of AI in the most ethical ways. But there's so many ways you can leverage that. But she has built relationships with also like these products and how and best practices on how to use them. She even teaches you how you can start your own AI business and sell it to other business. So like these businesses that need help learning AI or leveraging AI in their processes and automations, she can sell these huge service packages. Because if a company, just to put it out there, just to give you perspective for people that are interested in possibly being like a AI consultant, is what she calls it. And I love that, right? An AI consultant, if you're going to save someone $5 million, right? Or save a company. I don't want to say someone. If you can save a company $5 million because you can automate their processes, you can, I hate to say it, but they can remove manual labor. They can lay off people that are not necessary, right? And still have not just speed, but better quality of work with less people. You can easily charge a service for like $500,000 there, because again, if they know that they're saving 5 million, then what's half? They're already spending it. If they're already spending it, you could charge this big ass service fee for that implementation, especially like, let's say over a 12-month period. Like month 1, we're going to focus on this business. And month 1, we're going to focus on this department and this problem, because the thing is, it's a problem. I'll tell you right now where we have problems. We have problems with getting out content faster. We have problems with getting out emails faster. Getting out our product releases faster, like all these things. I'm literally building AI agents right now. And because of Alicia Little, I'm learning a lot of these ways to do it, right? So it's exciting for me because I don't even have to go and hire this person. I don't even have to go and add this to the budget. And when I say this person, I mean like this, employee to do this, because really I'm having them do work that I gotta go and manually check again and see if this, it's nice to know that this can be efficient and done very well. Or if I need to tweak it, I just tell the agent what I needed to tweak. I have an agent right now that checks my emails at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time every single day. And it categorizes to-dos. It categorizes the meetings that need to be scheduled and go on my calendar. It drafts responses already. So while I'm here recording this, let's say there's emails being sent to me, and I already have some auto replies ready. I don't even need to think off the fly. And the next thing I'm about to have it do is go into our sales system and personalize all of our emails. And I mean, like, it needs to go through all the websites of the people that we're reaching out to, personalize it, go through their social media, see what's missing, see how content creation could help them, see how influencer marketing can help them, UGC, all these things that upsell them to come on the app. Like, I would love to reach out to 1 million businesses in the month of 2026, but make sure that it feels personalized, because our app is personalized to them and to make sure that they win. And I want to do the same thing with creators. So I say this to say, Alicia Little, she did that. She got people obsessed with AI like myself. It only took me a month and a half to lock in with her content to be like, oh, I'm in. By 2026, my business will be 80% ran by AI. I mean that. And with all of the platforms I just told you about that I'm obsessed with, guess what? It leverages AI. Lovable. AI for building websites. Riverside. AI for, honestly, content creation. Opus AI for viral clippings. Canva. AI for, honestly, like graphic designs and web designs and designs, you know, presentations, all that. AI is driving all of my favorite businesses that I am obsessed with. So how do you think AI can help you with your business or your service? Anyways, I'll catch you on the next episode of Content to Cash. Thank you so much for tuning in. And if you already haven't, make sure you download Gem Social. I mean, if you are a small business, solopreneur, big business, mid-tier business, whoever, y'all all need content. Y'all all need creators. Y'all all need people talking about y'all in an intentional way. So make sure you download it, activate a free trial, and give us a try. And if you want to reach out, holler at me. I'll make sure that I give you some extra credits if you do that today. Catch y'all later.